Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So no forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, who we go bring to una different guests dem.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the program of called Color. Yes, right on we have on YouTube and on Facebook because I can discuss issues them with the front page of the newspaper and the carry for the day, and after which we carry it we guess them inside we can help with for discuss the issue them based on how they say them all based on their own opinion. Well, we go now inside the different paper that we don't get for this morning. You already don't see the front page or the topic where we get inside the program this morning. Sorry about that. So we go straight and begin look at the first paper where we get to the program this morning for let we see waiting then get for we. But please, when you join me, don't forget for like and subscribe if you not don't do so yet. And don't forget for leave a comment down again. So we go to the first paper this morning. We now the Night Watch newspaper. Night Watch newspaper get this big banner and we say free education stops. Free healthcare continues. Bill why? The role of British troops in Sierra Leone. We go to the next paper. We're in an AZ newspaper. Minister of Internal Affairs warns citizens against lawlessness, drug abuse. Christians will now pay pilgrimage to Rome. Former Minister of Social Welfare reveals. And military officer testifies against ex-military officers. Meet the new chief immigration officer, Honorable Alusain Kamara. 20-year-old man hanged himself to death in Kono. The next paper we get now the Independent Observer newspaper. We say magistrate detains 52 for Kush. New immigration chief appointed. The next one. Now the Premier News. We say women rethink conventional gender roles. You get Hamas call on Sierra Leone to backtrack on opening embassy in Jerusalem. CAF Champions League. Ball Rangers secure spot in second round after away win. Military officer testifies in case against 5 ex-soldiers. New Age in the next paper. We say land minister others in land grabbing scheme and failing to submit financial statement, transparency and accountability on ECSL. Youth Minister promotes skills development. Mastership appreciate AFICEL for its support, and MCP gets new SOE mandate. Africa 24. And the next paper we say duplication all the way. Sierra Leone parents might pay high school fees. High fees for public exams. And you as well get 150 private school pupils benefit from Baba Guru Nanak scholarship. Is Sierra Leone's democracy worth of emulation? And the next paper, na Global Times, we say Honorable Alusain Kane appointed CIO. Israeli ambassador visits NIG minister. In Peace Commission presents post-election report to President Bio. Ali Jafar fraud case adjourned. JSK and honored in Kenneman. The next one, the next paper for this morning, we say Mocha and Child Welfare meeting. Chief Minister urged NAFSA to develop employment register and Financial Intelligence Unit hosts stakeholders on national risk assessment. Land Ministry schools stakeholders on draft regulation of Land Act and murder 4 accused to face verdict. Flood force evacuation of almost 100,000 in Pakistan. Daybreak on the next paper for this morning, we say over alleged 3 million missing at State House, $3 million, sacked minister in trouble. Timber Association accuses Leadway CEO of defrauding the state. Bank of Sierra Leone warns citizen against Flexi Group, and APA urge APC to end boycott of governance. Apex on the next paper with a controversy. Salon Middle East diplomacy compromise. And you also get Ambassador Yongawo attend second annual National Union of Sierra Leonean Students Convention in Russia. This is another story for inside this edition of Apex. The next one at the Tribune Times, we say in Russia, Ambassador Yongawo attends Sierra Leonean Students Convention, and Honorable Alusane Kane appointed Chief Immigration Officer. Israel to invest in Sierra Leone's energy sector, and 3-star sport academy players in Turkey for trial. Water Resource Minister meets Goma management team. Salon Times newspaper say newly created Office of Chief of Staff brings efficiency in President Bio's front office. Press Secretary clarifies. Youth Minister promotes skills development. And they as well get enhancing capacity of community stakeholders on law protecting women and children's rights. Well, now all the people in this we get inside the program this morning. Let's just take a very short break, and after which we'll bring we get them inside the program.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wall and we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wall and we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Right, you still watch Congress now we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Also, how they discuss the issues then with the front page of the newspaper and the carry. And we expect another guest, but for now we don't get one of the guests that we don't join inside the program. We in Abdullah Faki, and we expect for joining inside the program Titus Boy, yes. Yes.
That was by talking.
Yes, we can join me inside the program this morning. Follow we discuss the issue there. So we front page of the newspaper them don't carry. But for now, I think we go actually go and begin look at the issues them we actually done the see with regards the front page of the newspaper them. And I will take the one them we will say, very, very light for now until we get the other person that we begin put the issues then for let the two people them get a proper discussion for go on with. We expect it will actually join we pretty soon for actually go on, with the discussion. Okay, so let's start with you and Abdullah Faki. When you look at the issue of this particular paper, now we'll start with when Daybreak say I'll start with this issue. We say APA urge APC to end boycott of governance. What do you think of this? You think say actually APA gets the you think say APC will listen to organization like APA?
Yeah, well, APA, all political parties association, and naturally and normally it consists of all the political parties that we register in a salon. And for now, we get something like 17 political parties were registered with the PPRC. So,
well, I believe. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry. The question I will ask, you say it consists of all. Very sorry when Abdullah Faki begin for talk, the mic will get small waiting, but I don't fix them up. When you say it consists of all the political party them, well, why you not say it been consist or it's supposed to get all the political party them? Because for now we see some political party that not the part of her.
Yeah. Well. Some time ago, some few political parties, including the NGC, the NP, the APC, they said they go form what they call COP, Coalition of Opposing Political Parties, they call progressive parties. So, but constitutionally, APA when they form them, and up to a few years, 2 or 3 years ago, they get representation of all political parties.
So what do you mean constitutionally?
Well, then how they call them? Then they will get a meeting of political parties and they agree say then they form an association.
Yes.
We go coordinate the affairs of them parties them.
Mm-hmm.
So then they will agree, and they all be day. So, but this few of them don't actually come out.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, still, APA still get in authority as an association.
Also, authority where APA get taken into consideration the size already where APA don't they take, especially in this election. Whose authority we didn't get?
Yeah, the authority we didn't get. They be formed as an association. They all agree for being members there. And for continue for coordinate their own affairs them at that level of an association.
Well, most people will say APA still get recognition because of the role they play to the ruling government. So that is why the political party, registration commission, they actually recognize them, and the government as well they recognize them. Of course, say before this term, before the election, APA can publicly declare for the SLPP and Marabio, where it's not supposed to be like that when they follow a whole political party association. Also, you get all the contests and just go through the support for one party.
Well, at that time, APA get an objective when a clause inside the young constitution for say, if they see like problem they come within the political landscape na salon, they get right for make statements and we go bring down the political tension. So I believe on that they've been careful decide for release that statement they per se. They endorse the elections will take place. And I believe it is within their own.
No, and they talk about even before the election, we then throw them support for Marabio, as now a candidate with other candidates, but then decide all political party association decide for throw them support for the government, young candidate against the other one them, and we don't see on different other issues them where the other party then will get issue with certain national discussion. APA will say they support the government in discussion and not to their own responsibility that one day.
Yeah, what he had to for say is, I don't say there was a time where there was a fallout. Fallout come with some party then decide for left them. So it been trying like say now like it become up one for like a scatter. So the one that will remain then decide not for scatter. So then decide for where I mean in this particular election how would it happen? So they will see election to go. We'll go for make statements that we will stabilize the political landscape.
So for all statements where they make we stabilize, because as far as people concerned, all of the statements they're not stabilized, not just in favor of one party, them they make them. For example, Marabio, they think that we don't do it good, and so because of that day, we support them, we throw we support to them, we endorse them for this election. Whereas you say all political party, you supposed for do the same for all political party within the country, but they're not doing so for the other one them.
Well, actually, me, I not ever go interview the chairman or the secretary for at that time or this present moment here. But my understanding where I've been get at a point in time, I've been going press conference where somebody asked the question why they do that. They say, well, it's like say the political landscape not become so tense. So then get the responsibility for make statements that we go. I mean, low down that tension indeed.
But for low down tension means say you get for tell people them say, for example, let we all come together and let we forget about violence inside election. Then they all man can understand because you make a generic statement for everybody. But in the case of also you make a statement for say we support this against this, then I'm not sure saying for cushion the tension. Instead, they flame more tension because. And they flame more tension, and then they reduce the respect where they may get as all political party association. As a journalist, you see that or not?
Well. To me, yeah. Well, there's a point there because to me, as I say, the reason we didn't give that we been deep at our press conference, but I mean, to me, my understanding is that APA is an association. So actually, they're not for don't put the support to one political party. That I agree on. But when we go to that press conference, when somebody, if I'm not somebody ask one engineer, one small young man ask the question, why they do that? So then talk say, well, they believe say they for bring down the tension. So the young man they tell us they were if not to compromise, they compromise their principles. So that was what happened at that press conference. We maybe get locked for going that place, Buffet Hotel, so on Kema Road. So that was what they said. So, but if you ask me, from what I understand, we don't go through the documents and where they present as constitution. Of course, they're not for throw support into behind one party because then they represent all the political parties. That I agree with. That's not the argument.
All right. So let's take you to another issue we get for doing the free education. I will take two paper them for address this particular for ask me question. First, lie the Night Watch newspaper. Night Watch newspaper say free education stops. Free healthcare continues. Bill, why? So for add to this, let's take you to another paper quickly. We get more, for this. They say Sierra Leone parents might pay high school fees high fees for public exams. So this is a very serious something. The free education, they get a lot of challenge, especially financial challenge, where they make this paper, they say according to them, people they get for begin pay high school fee and they get for begin pay high public exam fee. In other words, the free education where this government use as the flagship program in the last 5 years, get book done along the way. And but one other thing we then compare with now the free health way in the continue and at the initiative of the last government. What thing you take on this particular thing as this one very close to every Sierra Leonean in heart, including yourself if possible?
Well, you see, wishful thinking different from factual presentation. Now, if you go through the superintendent, with all due respect I get for them, they're not able to attribute who said them pull then talk there. So not like you think say well, me I not say anything good in this good thing where President you can with this way at this free education. I not say nothing good in here. Me I just say for oppose anything where they go the fact elect you bring angel they call him Satan. So that is what is happening here. There is nothing happening with free education. I just visit few schools. I get some principal friends they were to visit these few days there. Are they try to get from their own perception? They are telling me that free education is online. I mean, it's on course, and in fact, they think about the next subvention we they forget for open school. So and I ask them how about examination, but this Becker, MPSC, and then they refer to so Becker, MPSC, and what? And the funny thing, in fact, the MPSC is free. The Becker is free with 2 chances for seat. The WAS is free with 2 chances for seat. I don't get if I feel like I'm not gonna turn this, I'm not gonna speak this morning. I'll wait for this interview. If I don't can read for you the story we didn't talk about this free education. Let's see at the end if they make any reference to an official of the Ministry of Education or even the minister in talk that one day. This time what do you call wishful thinking. So now this I can always tell you about armchair journalism. You not journalist, me not journalist. Then one the way they write it, but they're not journalist. Me constantly I get plabber with IMC, the Independent Media Commission. Independent Media Commission they give people them a license for big editors them. Without they not go through the rudiments of being a reporter for 4, 5, 6, 7 years for know-how for source story before you go into press. You look for sensational articles them. Sensational headlines them. So then if you go through the article, there is no substance where you look at say. Now this I don't go get now the Ministry of Education. Now so then tell me. Now me most don't I feel so because I know one for present anything good about this government. I always tell people say when a government is in power, now it behoves on each and every one of we for support of government to make it succeed. If it fail, we will not get anything for benefit. So that is what I know. As far as I know, up to
so for you, you just feel say
the healthcare is on course.
For you just feel say now just wishful thinking. Then paper yeah, 2 paper they talk about with different headline. Not to the same headline with different headline. You not just feel say they might don't see something or they don't hear something or they don't talk to somebody within the system. We don't tell them about the problem with the system they face. Well, if you feel say that one they are not just wishful thinking. If tomorrow waiting in paper had a talk, it come to reality, whose position where you go see yourself?
Well, as I tell you just now, I say me the one the way they implement, one of the principals and teachers. Up to these few days about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at the workouts from principal.
But principal and teacher are not going to know exactly what thing happen inside the ministry. Not going to know what thing happen inside the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Education. Except they send to them. Except they relate message to them.
And then they implement.
Yeah, now then they implement, but not to them they make the laws. Not to them they put everything together. If they want them in the Ministry of Finance, if they want them in the Ministry of Education, don't see the problem where they disclose to the journalists there soon. Yeah, and they wait for the right time for communicate them to the schools then. You not feel say that again possible, or you think say no more as something happen at the ministry then the schools them for know about that?
No.
Look for example, what happen. correspondence come out from ICC to Madabio. The government of the Ministry of Information, not Yeribodande, according to them, quick until the thing not they circulate before they catch up say yes now true, then get correspondence from the ambassador. So you not feel say this again possible for you be like that?
No, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to tell you is, I know the paper them we like for getting sensational headlines them we not get substance. I don't want to talk bad about them because they are all colleagues. But I guarantee you say those stories they're not fact based. They're not attributed to no official of the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Education. Now just like we normally say, let we cause confusion. Let we just make negative headlines out of this education because could help it now. But I guarantee you say the free education is on course, the free medical is on course. That me know from me own source the way Mr. Get and the Minister of Health, Minister of Education, and Minister of Finance. There is no change in the policy, and there has been no problem in the implementation of these programs, the free education and free healthcare.
Alright, hopefully for the tweet the program now, correct site on we are on YouTube and on Facebook, so we discuss issues them where the front page of the newspaper them the carry. We get the program Abdullah Sampaki. We say with a veteran journalist and self na be first and teacher and yesterday you field this. It's just a tell you about waiting anything and waiting in from in colleague or from principal or head teachers then from different schools then. And but not waiting, the ministry them say basically the type of say some of them newspapers so they like forget sensational headline. In other words, they like for make headline then we will catch a public attention, but when it go to the write up properly, they don't get anything substantial. They don't get any serious thing we related to that particular issue there, and that's exactly the type of say. Well, we still expect Titus Boy for joining inside the program today. Well, for let you join with, so we will get the bigger part of the discussion. So because of because the other discussion them actually need two sides for let we get the proper gist of them particular words then they. So for now we will actually see how best we can able for put things then in place. Okay, so let me go now to the next paper. Sorry about that. Let me go to the next paper where we get on the screen. We're at the AZ newspaper. It's a Minister of Internal Affairs, one citizen against lawlessness and drug abuse. And you will as well see the person really in charge of the media and the military, external relation. They tell me say this time around they need to put end to lawlessness inside the country. And the lawlessness and drug abuse and other things them we then consider for being lawlessness. What do you make up of this?
Yeah, it's a me. I get the added advantage for I not only do journalism, I do research, I do psychosocial counseling, and I do drug abuse. I run be a PRO for an NGO, an international NGO for over 10-15 years as a public relations officer for fight against drug abuse and crime and sexual sexual diseases among youths. So I believe I get a lot of wealth of experience. And then when I can see people talk about drug abuse, then there's people in the fed the man with the smoke and buy and push. Are they not smoke corner? Are they crying inside my heart? They don't know what's not drug abuse. People, with all the respect to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, drug abuse not a physical effect. Say, they can't fight on for drug now. You don't fight drug abusers physically. They work so. You get steps the way they take for let you remove the drug abuser from the abusing of drugs. We get two areas. We get the supply, we get the demand. So if you don't stop the supply, kind of demand with the demand, and they work so. They go to the source side and the supply. Who is bringing the drugs into this country? Who are manufacturing these drugs? Now they force the target. Or as long as the drug is in the market, people are going to use the drugs. In any way you do them, it get more sense on how for smuggle and how for meet up for buy and sell for continue for abuse the drugs. So down at the one aspect that one day. Why is another tell you say it not legal thing because drug abuse now it has been criminalized. In fact, you get a jail sentence, you get a fine sentence, or either they fine you or in jail you. You get for also study the causes. Why make people when they abuse drugs? When you go into that area now, so the one that with the demand, then the one that with the eat them, they use and then they call it demand. The one that with the supply, and the one that with the sell, manufacture and sell, manufacture, storage. So what you don't know now is why make people they abuse drugs. The factors in Boko, and then factors in they begin for address. So you don't address the supply, then you can't do the demand, the one that with the user, then you begin for address the inside. That is the way you do anti-drug abuse campaign, that's what we call them. But you don't just go, you fall asleep when I begin petting and street. It doesn't work that way. They go disappear. They go underground, they still abuse their drugs and cause trouble.
Right.
In the area of lawlessness, there's a lot of lawlessness in the country. You know, lawlessness was cool in the country. Motokan and the partner treat. In fact, I understand say by 1st of September, SLRSA and the police then get for clear the streets of Freetown of all vehicles that will park out of the garages. And me don't always be a champion for talk about it today. But I've been disappointed many times by the SLRSA, Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, and the Sierra Leone Police. And I don't make them very known to them inside radio, television, and physically. For say, they can kind of do 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Then they begin to take couple. They take money, sir. They take bribes. They take bribes from these fellows parking vehicles on the streets. And they garage and they spill out on the street. Now, we areas like there are times you're not able to walk out for go inside your compound. There are times you're not able to walk up inside the street. You're not taking motorcar bangi because motorcar the double park. In a street of 30 feet, it will become 10 feet. That is what we're going through. But then a half-hearted way that they do the thing also. Because when they do along the line, they know say this thing, money can come inside this thing. Let's take money and forget about this thing, bro. So that is the one area. The lawlessness is there. And the one way they can't control the people the way they do lawlessness, then they can't corrupt themselves. That's the second aspect.
Okay.
The area of, bad language, noise, too much noise in the community, people they open a bar them any street corner with no license, begin playing music from morning till night till clean. Now we don't live with an hour for years. Some of we don't become so stressed that we blood level, pressure level, high. The decibels of the music them pass mark one, but when they pass and treat now, you get musical instrument for sell a cassette. Small boy we no depend. You go make noise by with impunity. When we call police, they say we can't make a report for us, can't make a report. Come to the police station and make a report. This is what we're going through.
All right.
People don't sleep in this town anymore. Okay. No better sleep all day. You go ask anybody apart from me.
Okay, continue.
So that's the other aspect of lawlessness. Motocar they blow on by 4 o'clock in the morning. At one point in time, I grabbed them and I go down the street. I asked this man, why he didn't blow horn at this hour? Now what didn't make it blow horn at this hour? 4 in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. Why you for blow horn? Now which kind of traffic there? Which kind of motor money they pass? People are sleeping, sir. I said, no, they sleep. It's 4 a.m. In this country, there was a law and there's a law still. Motocar nobody come up before 6 a.m. 6. I know I go look for that law day. They come up before 6 in the morning, and they blow horn after before 6 in the morning, and they blow horn after 6 in the evening.
Not at this particular time. No,
the law day.
Yeah, even the law, some of them law they don't go to sleep now because, for example, if person get for can buy market, people get for go work, and they come up 5 get for manage transport. Go sell not come up before 6 o'clock.
No. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying come up 6 o'clock. I say they blow horn. Horn.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you so for correcting that.
The law was there, and the law still there.
Yes, and noise pollution.
They play music after 6 in the evening. They process after 6 in the evening, except church, burying, mosque.
Okay.
Or cultural organization.
Inside the program.
Under police permission. That was what was happening. So now you do publicity to 2 in the morning. You allow people to allow Uga dance and now go to Malogo dance. 2 in the morning. 2. You cannot believe this. So lawlessness is there. So I wish the new minister of internal affairs, I wish him luck, and I pray that they go get a way for doing research first. Make you really know what the consist of lawlessness in this country. Yeah. People in the park on the street, open the garage, they begin pour tar. We don't pour the tar down. They say, hey, this government no better look the road all on pour. Now in Canada the street, he put oil there, he put jack there, begin for knock the ground. Tar down pour. They say na government, the road on pour. People in the open pump, they cut the pipe, they left on the waste. Thousands of liters of water they waste. President, water will not get water. But you forget that you don't go cut pipe, you don't waste over 10,000 liters of water within 1 hour. So this is lawlessness they want to get. And until we begin for look at the lawlessness and give harsh punishments, I believe they will not begin yet for fake lawlessness. Okay.
All right, continue further with me inside the program. We actually don't get Titus Boy and thumbs maybe don't join me inside the program, but they get challenged with the internet. They're not in a comfort zone, they don't move out, but they can because we get bigger issues them for actually come and discuss inside the program today. So we just do it so that they will come in and join me, so we will discuss the bigger issues than we already don't see. When are some of the issues then they bring you inside, because we won't forget, actually, different sides then to then story than we already don't see, like the story of the Hamas, the story of the, the chief minister thing and other things, then we actually don't come up. We will really like for talk about. But first, let's come to you, Hassan. The issue of ECSL. Let read this paper exactly. Let you hear exactly what this paper say again, and I will need forget your opinion. Failing to submit financial statements. Now one part. Transparency and accountability haunt ECSL. So we see inside the ECSL fail for submitted, they fail for give access to audit service to the financial statements then. And now we don't see another person don't gap up again with a case for ECSL through the right to access information, Augustine Soye Mara. What do you make up of this issue of transparency and accountability in the area of ECSL?
Transparency and accountability of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone. Normally, after elections, the law say the chief electoral commissioner they announce the result, and after a result, announce time, then they lock ballot paper then now the warehouse they seal them under police. Police supervision. So you say we don't lock down and the only person that will get power for opening now a high court judge or a Supreme Court judge. Now at that level now, not even magistrate. So when Mr. Mohamed Kanewi Konebe announced the result of the elections, then they do and work correctly according to law. The man is stand by the law. Let me go with the call. They quote the relevant laws and now the electoral laws of Sierra Leone and the Constitution of Sierra Leone. And at the end, it gets a disclaimer.
But you know, all of the laws there, so now they make them and they make them for cover some of the things then where they don't want to let people them see.
No, well, the laws are made by the Parliament of Sierra Leone.
No, not the Parliament make the law then. Now Parliament agree for the law, but now ECSL make the law can go to Parliament.
No, ECSL not a law-making body. The law-making body now the legal council of Sierra Leone where they na building you get the legal advisors.
Okay, I go put time again to you say the Election Act where they can go to Parliament. Now ECSL the legal team then put them together and then can go for lay parliament agree on anything and they whether not through the legal system where you talk to or not, but ECSL put the laws them together. Agree with me or not?
Well, when you carry go laws in parliament, the laws are debated clause by clause.
Yes.
Before they go pass them into law.
Yes.
So when they make laws in the 2012, then debate them, 2018, then debate them, 2020, then debate them. Before they pass them. The parliamentarians they wait in you get APC, you get CPP, you get NGC, you get C4C, you get parliament chiefs, you get independent. So they all agree on the areas where they want for pull them. Then they agree the balance areas then.
Okay.
But what about the therefore say was the law. Now the law we talk about now. The law say if you're not satisfied, then make the Chief Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Mohamed Kanewe, say anybody who not satisfied with Uti, I don't talk now today. I don't announce. You see, you get I think is it 21 days? Is it 7 days for appeal? Now for petition, a court of law, Supreme Court. So that is the law. He said, me I not get power again for go open the White House. Now, I think that this thing will not understand it. Mr. Kone not get power again for go open the White House for come begin check ballot paper. Not to write that one, not to inside on it. If
what inside that one now?
Then at the court of law.
No,
the Supreme Court
it's still there in get the right still for do whatever thing. That is why they don't use now the rack. When are the right to access information, and now right to access information as you say not to then get it right, but then don't order them for release them thing and they now you don't think say themselves get it right for do that?
Yes, the right to access information commission, of course, then get the mandate for tell you say you go now this ministry or this department or agency and so forth or to this individual and let it disclose to you information. But there's a caveat here. But there's the law is the right to access information tell you say if this thing where you go for it will compromise the security of this nation, then we say they go make sure then they say go court law and say no, this one way you come for so it will compromise the security of this country.
So the only way how the election results go compromise the security of the nation now if it be fraudulent something. But if it's transparent and then do exactly what it come out of the ballot stations then I'm not sure say they compromise the security of the state. You think so?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking specifically about the ECSL now.
No, well, now we focus on the ECSL because now ECSL now they don't ask for the results then. So you think say ECSL for use that word there for example say this particular information on a ask for so it go jeopardize, it go put the country in security at risk.
Well, I don't think so, but I believe say when they go there, they get legal people that will go advise putting everything. Because I know people see this
because the only thing where they act
I don't know what he asked for, so I don't go for
of course now the disaggregated results for published results by district, 91. So for example, the right to access to freedom, the right to access information, commission, then get one thing where they say if not classified information, they're not going to release at all. Yeah, they're not going to release out. But in any election result, not public document, not public something. By right, every Sierra Leonean for know how much the results reflect at any side, any police station, any district, any region. Every Sierra Leonean get the right for know that one day. So not to any big deal and they say if we know that day it will create security waiting. The only way how it will create problem. Now if waiting ECSL produce now differ or different from that of waiting that we don't show you before, because of course people go begin ask question and that thing there we will not say the result where ECSL give, like for example in Karine where Mohamed Bangura where as well they support the government in agenda for let them move and they call on in party for going to parliament, they don't make a very clear say the Karine waiting then tally and waiting ECSL read na two different things. SLPP get 9,000. At the end of the day, SLPP, ECSL announced for the 19,000. So if now so the other results then they of course it go put the country at risk in security at risk. But if ECSL be really straight according to what they say, this is one of the most credible elections, they not get anything for fear, right or wrong?
I know if we say they get anything for fear. Perhaps they don't go through the right channels. I believe say from the time when that man say when I go through the right channels. if I mean, people the way with like APC will be fed. I found one court long ago. We don't trash it in a court. Then the Supreme Court goes okay. We now count back. They can even count back the whole thing. So, but they don't agree for going to court. At one point, then they go to court. The way the court is done, they don't go again to court. Then come out say they don't believe the court system. They don't believe the police system. They don't believe what they again. They don't believe the military. They don't believe nobody. But now the court, this will get, and this court here we don't get for the past 200 years. Now they deal with, now we don't deal with, and we don't see justice being dispensed in this country. So normally you would test, the system of legal redress where in a country. So if you say you don't believe the court system, then who say go now? If person goes slapping, I was not say you get no say for go. So say they for go, they complain. So to me, if from that May, I mean that June will be going to be announced. So then by now they go to pass judgment. So okay, when I get grounds, when I don't count evidence we credible for let we open up the storehouse for on a contract. At least if it happen, I don't believe anything they wouldn't hide. To me, but the way we go about this thing, the thing we don't accuse, we don't try, we don't convict without we not listen to the other side of the story. So you don't do it that way. Go to the court and accuse. The court now they try and pass verdict. But we don't agree for going to court. They want to boycott the parliament.
So now by force for actually going to court?
Now
by force for going to court?
By force to go to court?
Yeah, a question. Is it compulsory that everybody for going to court?
No, not by force for going to court.
So if somebody choose not for going to court, but then choose for sit down quiet and lock them up, no problem again?
Well, if you don't choose and lock him out, then you know get what you want. Because now the court now get a power for order. Now the only court now will get the power now for order for a recount. The court get that power for recount, for order for recount.
No, but waiting this discussion there about not to recount. Now just that okay, you don't do it, you waiting though. Just give me waiting if you don't count. I no more one thing.
Yeah, well that is back na part of it could possible say inside the argument, so then the other part of the legal team then will say, well, the defense because it's a prosecutor, the defense will say, okay, follow we want to follow go full account. If possible say it happen.
Okay.
It happened in Kenya.
Okay.
Kenya they go to court.
Let me go quick one and get another view. Titus Boy something. Welcome to the program. I know you struggle with your internet, you struggle with everything different from what I do so right now, but not a problem. Thank you for what you managed for joining inside the program.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's make a quick so we list you again for go because we'll get better time again. We may just talk about the issue of ECSL. Basically, what we see now that this paper they try to tell you about transparency and accountability. It say I'm failing to submit financial statements, transparency and accountability on ECSL. Then we see say again the right to access information don't order ECSL in 7 days for later release the disaggregated results from the June 24th election. You know, so you think say ECSL will respect this, or they will say no, they don't still get the right for do that?
Well, ECSL by law for respect the rights to access information and directive. That then it gives you a clear sense that there is something very, 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 very wrong. If ECSL refuse for accept established in law when we is supposed to abide by, then there's something very wrong. We all know say something is wrong, but I think if they don't do it now, then it looks like there's something very, 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 very wrong.
Okay, so let we go now to another issues. Then we now that will be the way to for let you come allow you different views them on this particular issue. Yeah, when they go to the first paper, we now the Apex newspaper. Apex newspaper say controversy, Salon Middle East diplomacy compromise, and then I'll take you to this other paper. We now the the Premier News. The Premier News get this one where they put down here and say Hamas calls on Sierra Leone to backtrack on opening embassy in Jerusalem. This now as a result of the latest move with Sierra Leone for opening, embassy inside Israel. Now, a warning don't come out from Hamas say Salon need for reconsider not for open, and the need for respect them as well, because that particular side who said they want for go open, embassies on a side we always don't get problem. What do you think about the relationship between the three countries as well, especially Palestine, Israel, and Salon, and the kind of threat what they get?
Sorry. I don't know if you are getting me there.
Yes, we get you.
The internet look. I wonder why the government of Sierra Leone take this move for go into opening an embassy in Jerusalem instead of in Tel Aviv, when you realize that the bulk of the international community did Tel Aviv. Only 4 other embassies in Israel. Israel a disputed territory. Palestine, they claim rights to Israel just as much as the Israelis, they claim their rights to Israel. And that issue has not been settled. For Sierra Leone for walking to the mix, I think it's a very dangerous concoction. Yes, we have a pluralistic religious society in Sierra Leone who gets religious tolerance, but then these things will be tested. We have people in our midst who have sentiments, very strong sentiments on one side or the other, more with respect to the large number of Lebanese settlements we have in our country. And these people have their own ideologies, and this war has been going on from biblical times. Not now this war started. This war doesn't start from long. And the superiority of Israel over them people here come about after the Second World War, when they decide, okay, this now our ancestral home, we'll go back or we'll support una, and they gave them weapons, and they have weapons of mass destruction. And that's what they're using against the Palestinians. And the dispute is always a dispute over land. But it looks like this government and government will like for fight for land. They're doing the same thing in Sierra Leone. They're seizing Creole lands all over the but they're fighting with people for land in York region. So I don't know. This is what they are. These are people who always be fighting for land, but they should not have gone into this situation. Fight for land as alone.
Okay,
so where I see government is going, Faki has the land. The government is going to have gone into this situation. Absolutely wrong. Diplomatically makes no sense. Yes, Israel built our parliament. It was a good ally and friend, but then there was decided to back the Arab states and the Palestinian cause and walked away from Israel. We should stick to those agreements.
So we missed that one day. Would have back the Palestinian states against Israel?
Oh, Sierra Leone government alongside the African Union and the non-aligned states, they decided to back the position of they have a right to exist in that area and that they should be recognized as a separate state. Now, the issue of Israel moving into these Palestinian settlements is because they want to obliterate the Palestinian state. They don't want the Palestinian state to exist. And this is a problem. Going into Jerusalem, everybody get right to Jerusalem. The Christians get right there, as well as the Jews. And some Christians, they make the mistake, say, the Jews are Christians. They are not. You see, the Jews have their religion. The Christian, in fact, the Jewish religion is a way of life. For what you believe, you cannot be converted to it. Jew. Now, the Christians, they came after Christ, they are the followers of Christ. The Orthodox and the unorthodox, you get different. The Muslims, different people and get right to that area. So with that kind of melting pot, it's difficult for one country decides or one religion decides we'll take up over to itself and we'll put all man to one side. Which I think is a dangerous problem.
Abdullah Faki, what do you think about this particular, word from Hamas? Say Sierra Leone for backtrack, for consider, not for go na Jerusalem, for go open, embassy day.
Yeah, Jerusalem, like how my brother said, that was something. Now a melting pot for the Palestinians, the Israelis. You get Muslims and you get the Judaism and you get the Christians and the Muslims. So in fact, the Hamas not make clear force. Hamas na a movement, a freedom fighting group.
In a militant group.
Palestine,
A militant group.
No, well, that is the problem. Somebody can What about the Israeli where they come from? They send a militant group, then they call themselves army. Hamas have a fighting force. Then they fight for liberating land. So the terms the way people that they use, then they bring the plabber then among them. Because they say they come, they can't say their own land, they can't cause terrorists in it. So they send a terrorist. But Israel don't agree for them, they call them terrorists. Then they call Hamas terrorists. But they're all fighting. Then they come inside Israel, and they come inside Golan Heights, they can't defend them, bomb them, they come inside Gaza, they defend them. Then they go across borders. So they're all fighting for this one great territory. So like how they tell you, a place when in fact the Muslims they call it Al-Quds, and then they call them. Then the Israelis call them Jerusalem. So the all man get right under. So that is the whole problem where they get saved. If we don't have open embassy, anybody have open embassy, go open embassy in Tel Aviv, go to the capital. Now Israel want quietly for move the capital, you know, how they call them, the political capital from Tel Aviv, Ibrahim come now Jerusalem. Where the Palestinians they're not ever able to agree it. There was nothing wrong opening an embassy. Now this confusion began where this man gonna be president of America. Is it Trump? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now he can open embassy in Jerusalem for the first time. Embassies have always been in Tel Aviv. That is what is regarded as the capital of Israel. So when you can open this thing now, in how they pass now, the American and now they use that politics. You know, America, you know, so then they back Israel, but they say no, we are peacemakers, we are peace brokers. Then no, sir. Then they are one-sided. They are backing Israel to fight against Palestine for them to subdue them. Then they take all the land and open their hand. So this now they play this. So anybody when they say they open embassy in Jerusalem, then the Palestinians they feel jittery about you. Nine also. Now make President Bush say one open embassy in Jerusalem. They don't be given feel jittery. Say no, Bo. Embassy could be we not get problem for open embassy in Israel, but let it be in Tel Aviv. Now all get you see now all get if you want to open our embassy now na how they call that place Palestine back. If you can open the other one back na inside Jerusalem, you don't get two embassies in Jerusalem. It will look very funny. So they say they use say well now we get here. You see Hamas na militant force. So well now we get here. Now we now Palestine we get here. Israel says now we get here. That's the problem. So then they say well other countries for remain neutral by opening embassies in Tel Aviv and by recognizing them. Palestine is a state, Israel is a state. For recognize who have a state, they have a state. Let's live like that. But if we don't go so well, we go to embassy in Jerusalem. That we don't get in Jerusalem. That we don't say we don't get it. So they play about this, and then they call the Al-Quds, then they call it Jerusalem. So that is the problem. Okay. They all live in there.
All right, continue further to inside the program. This now correction we had on YouTube and on Facebook. But we go to the last issue because of time and internet connection problem for Mr. Thompson. So we go to another thing. Let me look at this thing quickly. We see the happen, you know, with regards and the issue of chief minister. You know, we see Usai, you know, yesterday paper they made a particular, you know, issue say Madabio secretly appoints chief of staff where would duplicate the role of the chief minister. Well, as a way of background, the last government will introduce chief of staff. The role of the chief of staff now exactly waiting this government come and change, then call a chief minister. Now the same oversight role them in the play. So now, if this government don't get chief minister and then can get chief of staff, now duplication. But now we see waiting this paper say about that. Salon Times newspaper say la project all the people them say. Salon Times newspaper say it say newly created office of chief of staff brings efficiency in President Bio's front office. This is according to the press secretary as he tried to clarify the issue of the chief minister and that of the chief of staff when Solomon Jamiu. So Abdullah Faki, what do you think about this thing? Duplication of job, or it will actually add, you know, efficiency in this particular, you know, office of the president?
Well, there are times where it is not shameful for say person and not understand. One thing about Saloma, we like for answer all questions if we will not understand. I see on social media, but social media now one side where you get to be be careful how you receive information from, especially when we're information experts them. But the word they use in a way make up become very, very cagey or very careful. They say President Bill secretly. I don't see any reason why President Bill will secretly appoint a chief of staff. You don't do appointments secretly. Because if you do appointments secretly, you get for Canada one fine day. So how you go make appointments secretly? So then that area they make yesterday was here. I was a bit.
It appoint the person, but it not come with them out the public. So anything where it not out public, not so secret.
You appoint the person, you not out on the public.
Yeah.
But they're not appointed yet.
You know, you're waiting the press secretary just don't talk. They say this particular person, this particular office where they don't create so, and they bring more efficiency to the president's office. Say yes, they don't appoint them.
Efficiency.
Yes.
Well, if the press secretary say it will bring efficiency, then I know go on for say it don't lie. I go on say let's wait and see if this secret person will not appoint as chief of staff, they come, they go meet the chief minister. Let's see how it will bring the efficiency.
Because when we ask this not just the same position with two different names. I just give you background, say APC, they tell them within a power column, chief of staff. And then SLP come, they change and say, no, they call him chief of staff, or they call him chief minister. So if they don't create the chief, they don't change the office to chief minister. And then now they get another person where they don't carry it again, and they call him chief of staff. Then a duplication.
Well, the funny thing here is we're not able to understand yet what it will be the job description of this secretly appointed chief of staff.
Okay, so not only the right from that point here, like I was Titus. What do you think about this particular thing over here so now?
The try for dovetail this here, and that's the difficulty. People are not sincere to themselves. This government is groping for a standing. They are groping for a standing because, number one, I think the president hurriedly sacked a lot of the people and we get experience and we get standing within the party. He sacked them when they just came into his second term. Then now he's looking for people. All the people who are around them are weaklings. These are people who don't have any government experience. Even Senge, current chief minister, they're all mumbling and fumbling. They are not experienced people in government. They don't know the nuances of political and diplomatic life, and they're making mistakes and they're making grave errors. You see, so I beg you, therefore accept that this government is stumbling. They're not doing the right thing. Number one, the office of chief of staff and chief minister, they are basically the same. They are super ministers. This is a minister that we recognize for being the head of all other ministers and make sure that all ministers are working together so that we get synergy within the ministries. Quite outside cabinet. Cabinet and the president they head up. But ministerial day-to-day administration for come under the chief of staff and coordination between ministries for come under the chief minister. So I don't know what they say, you can forget the chief of staff and chief minister. Unless you want the chief of staff to act as what used to be the scope, who's the head of the president in diplomatic arena, where I go deal with all diplomatic issues related to the president in day-to-day business. You're going to manage the president in diary and manage the president in detail and appointments with other people who they come. Then the chief minister will concentrate on local issues for the deal with ministerial collaboration and working, making sure we get what you call joined up working between ministries. Then yes, that is a probable direction. But then from where I'm standing, there is no reason or right to or rationale for differentiate the two. The chief minister can do both jobs quite easily. There is always going to be a state chief of protocol, where your own job will be quite completely separate when for handle and become the president in gatekeeper, as it were, ensuring you hand over see the president, then see the president in the time when they foresee him and in the manner when they foresee him. But then in terms of the president in day-to-day business, in the conduct of the day-to-day business, or if you need advice, They get presidential advisors then for different specifications and different specialities where for the advisor on issues the way you need for dealing. So, for example, if somebody come or talk to the president on energy, you forget a presidential advisor where in scope, therefore relate to energy. When I go sitting on that meeting there and advise the president, say, well, this person will talk about megawatts, and we want a kilowatt. So this person will talk the right thing, or this person will talk the right thing. This is what you do. But for get people and for create position and get posts and give fat salaries and give people jobs. I remember Solomon Jamiu, I think apparently worked for President Baikuma in government. I'm not sure. The name sounds very familiar.
No, Solomon Jamiu, you say?
Solomon, is that Solomon Jamiu?
No, Solomon Jamiu not work for, he may not be lawyer, but be prominent lawyer. So he name be the play.
Yeah. Okay, he didn't work for the last APC government?
No.
Okay. I mean, the APC government was a very pluralistic government, so we had all sorts of people in there. Not like this government, when I want to type people don't want to do. The issue for where we look at is whether the government they try to make the country governable, give itself some credibility, open up this situation with ECSL, set them straight. And I feel say the only way the government can do that is open up to the opposition and invite the opposition into governance as a government of national unity, ensure that we use this 5-year period for rebuilding institutions and make sure say this lapses will occur with ECSL and so other institutions like the judiciary not ever get to occur again. We put strong procedures in place for make sure say we institutions that work for the country. One president or one man not forever sees the one who is state capture. We forget together, and there is no way this government will tell me that the SNPP government will sit down on their own, they map out a future roadmap for Sierra Leone. It is not going to happen. This is an SNPP government that does not have the mandate to do that. If they had universal mandate, all man vote for them, we will understand, but they don't. And as we see things that go on, this government, from what you will see, they are not even a government that was voted in. This was the government that was voted out. I mean, ECSL, they keep it segregated result. If they pull that result, what I am afraid of is that they lost the. They're looking at Yaiso, they tell us, no, they're not going to pull and let go court. Where we know, say the court will for Dabaru the case within a week. So now we have not done that, and we are saying, let us use other levers. And we're using these other levers to get the constitutional mandates imposed or leveraged upon ECSL and then pull the result. If the government don't pull out, let them open the government up. Let them bring in APC ministers or people from the APC into positions of responsibility. And then we task the government, one simple thing, look back at our institutions and make sure that they work, they are fit for purpose, and they are never going to come under unitary government control. Positions like the Accountant General, Auditor General, Chief Justice, those positions should never ever again come under the control of the president. They should be independent of the president. So if the Chief Justice or the judiciary therefore make a decision, let it be a decision based on law. Let not be a decision based on emotions or a decision based on political affiliation. Let me get a country of laws. Otherwise, it's going to be chaos and there's going to be conflict and there's going to be another war. We don't need that. If the police, the Electoral Commission manage the elections, let it be open, free, and fair. Can you imagine people that go for go campaign and vote and they stop them? People that go for go be returning officers or electoral observers now, Kenema and Kailau, then they beat them, burn them, all of these things should never happen in any country. You can never have no-go areas for one party or no-go areas for another. It should never happen. Everything they do, let the people choose their leaders. That's the foundation of democracy. When the people choose their leaders, and the leaders are accountable to the people. Having a chief of staff and a chief minister is saying nothing. What it says that you have two for the price of one, or it is saying that you not penny for look we get. We don't have a proper government. We don't have a proper system of operation. We don't even have a proper method of delivering the democracy for the people. Now this is the mark of a failed government. This government has failed us woefully. They failed us from the beginning, that they have taken up a position that will regionalize and separate the people of this country from their first term. They failed. They failed by coming in with such draconian measures and coming with a message that went against certain tribes and certain groups and certain people. That was wrong. They failed because they came in with a series of land ministers who are seizing lands belonging to people in the western area, not just the Creoles. They failed because they failed to understand the dynamics of how Freetown operates. They shut down our cultural and traditional societies from operating in Freetown. They shut down our entertainment avenues from operating in Freetown. But then they put go in a plane to America to go dance in America. All of these things are wrong. All of these things, you cannot use one culture for be a supremacy over the rest. These are wrong. So unless the government gets a situation where we get a pluralistic society, let us work together to build a proper Sierra Leone. All our cultures are important. All our cultures are rich. I enjoy Mende culture as much as I go enjoy Limba dance. Well, they say Limba dance, but we don't want to hear Limba dance for that. You see, I enjoy Mende culture. I say Mende woman gets Coca to the Coca-Cola shape. Yes, I enjoy the fact that I look Mende woman, they look good. You enjoy so many things in Sierra Leone. Fulaman that we people away, we don't live with from day one. We don't deal with the full of them. Every tribe and Freetown get their own nuances and get over the provoke yourself, but it has never been a matter of hatredness. Now you talk anything about Mendena Salon, you don't talk hate. Oh, you hate Mendena. No, we need to they vilify the former the mayor, or she's still mayor of Freetown. Vilify the mayor of Freetown because he said, oh, this man they carry out with go and business. This is how we used to talk from Menema. Say, oh, Menema, you see the back conversation, he must put go and business inside. That is the way we used to live. Let us go back to live in those ways, and let's go back to understanding each other that even though we are different, we are one country, and we are all the same people. I don't know why they get as a motto, but they get as a motto and they are not living by it. So I feel, say, the issue we have to face is not just about the appointment of chief minister and chief of staff or moving an embassy into Jerusalem, which is very wrong. And this government give it for understanding. We get Hamas in Sierra Leone, and we have other people in Sierra Leone who support not just Hamas but other Arab groups that support different things of the Palestinian movement. So when you begin moving to that direction, you spoil long-term relationships. Yes, we have a relationship with Israel that we want to maintain, but let us maintain those relationships with respect for each other. I mean, we get a relationship with China. China itself they fed for Taiwan as a single state situation, and it was Sierra Leone that when S.A.J. Pratt was Minister of Foreign Affairs, it was Sierra Leone that made a very cogent case for China to get a seat in the United Nations. And the Chinese don't ever forget me for that. But that don't mean say we support China to take over Taiwan. No, we walked a path that said, yes, China, you get my own sovereignty as a state on itself, but then when I left Taiwan, let Taiwan do your own, Taiwan may carry on their business. Okay. So we don't allow any diplomatic situation cause we for move into a situation where it look like what's happening in Nigeria just now. Right now, the West don't say, okay, they're pulling out, everybody's pulling out from the war. So I know one of the first countries want to say, no, go fix them. No, you get to stand back and let people them in their own country sort them problems out. Just like
I want let you forget about the issue of this Security Council thing, ordinary member we don't get. Don't make Salon say we don't place in a better position for involved in all of the situation the way they happen all around the world.
Salon go there in the situation as a security. We don't get veto power as Security Council. But let me talk about Salon Security and negotiation or something.
Yeah, but now that's the government they say.
Oh, no. They have no power to do anything. All they have to do is give papers, assent or deny. And Security Council assent or deny. You follow what the Western powers they follow, unless you get a veto. This is world diplomacy. Sierra Leone does not affect world diplomacy in any way. And Sierra Leone goes to the Security Council as a non-permanent representative. We're only there to basically to observe and to have our own input once in a while. But I think
wait. You say we did it basically for observe. We mean say we presence not the significance they felt?
No. Who's how you presence the felt when you get the issue of China over Taiwan? What is Salon to say with that? When you get the issue of Israel and Palestine.
Okay, so we'll make a scenario in this case.
At every point in time, America, there is no discussion.
Let me get a scenario in this case.
If England, when a major country, when a superpower, England don't get nothing to say over Israel and Palestine. And England has tried very hard, several times. In fact, it has been the British campaign that has moved the American position somewhat towards a two-state settlement.
Okay.
But let's just be able to overturn the American veto.
Let's build this thing. I want to understand if not so we don't presence the be inside the Security Council. For example, we still say political party then can get a convention. You get the one the way they say delegate. when I then get right for take part directly and effect changes them. Then you get the one that when I observer, where then they go inside the all, but I still don't know more than they still don't watch, you know, and sometimes they whatever they want for do, you know, they're not able to communicate directly to the bigger issues that already happen. So now so the Security Council self day?
No. When you get delegates and observers in every political party situation, the delegates are delegates of equals. All man they vote, one man, one vote, and then vote together and decide who that get for being voted into a particular position. In the Security Council, you get delegates where then get the one man, one vote, or the collaboration or coalition of votes who then put together, who are the general members. Then you get the members that will get veto power, who are the permanent members. There's only 5 of them. Those 5 permanent members, any one of them say no, no matter we elect 100% votes. Once one of them they say no, that's it.
Okay, because that be the situation of this Ukraine and Russia, whereas Turkey not being
in votes.
Yes.
When they say no, you cannot go about it.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and we go explain the program now so today. Because of time, we allow una for going about our business then. And still we don't get this kind of discussion. Abdullah Faki, thank you very much. You don't hold the floor for we from the start to this particular time. You there with me?
Yeah, I do with you.
All right. So I'm for telling now. Thank you.
1 minute.
Yes.
Yeah, Nada Eranomo Usai, my brother, talk about the elections. The elections were free and fair, and
who's the election?
The election of 24 years.
Salon election.
Yes, free and fair, credible, transparent. President Julius Manabi don't win for 5-year term. Way portion not satisfied. Let him go to the court of law.
No, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. We are educated people. No, we are educated people. Let me stop you there. I beg, Hassan, please, let me stop you there. Let's not come to a public forum and make these statements. You see, it is going to do. Yes, the election was generally fair, free and fair. We agree it was generally free and fair. The elections are not the contention. Our contention is the calculation of the voting. The people who vote, what want to do it, and that's not the problem. Not the people who go vote, people who go and go vote. It is the votes that we took away. They stole the votes. Because when you take somebody and vote, you know, record them or 71, that is wrong. And this is what has happened. If that has not been the case, let ECSL come out plainly and say these are the disaggregated results. Because first of all, when they read the results from polling station to polling station, no mumbui or no that's all that we talk about. When they read them mandating in the back here, when they read police station to polling station, would I go on oppose, you go on oppose. That is what you should have done. And this brings the difference between rigging an election and stealing an election. In this case, it was not rigging. In this case, it was stealing. Rigging the election, I go stop ballot boxes on Friday, yes. Rigging the election, I go stop people from voting, yes. But in this case, they stole the whole vote.
Brother,
so you don't win for 5 years. And that is why there is a plan to go Madabio ahead. Madabio don't win for 5 years. Madabio has got an election given to him that is under a cloud.
You can only get redress in the court of law.
No. That is another mistake people make. You cannot only get redress in the court of law. You can get peaceful protest. You can make your voice heard in several other ways. And this is the one way that the APC has done. We have walked away from governance. You cannot be a part of the government that is corrupt and
the people in mind say, that's what happen. Let me say.
No. The people all man know. Ordinary man in the street will tell you, say, not to Madabio get his power, hand over. The ordinary man in the street will tell you, Madabio did not win the election. Everybody knows it. What you have is a president in position because the control of the state apparatus is in his favor. That is all you have. So what the APC has said, because we don't have the state, we are not going to be part of the governance system. So I'm not going to solve this problem. And you cannot run a one-party state on a proportional representation voting. This is the problem you have had. If it was constituency, you would have been for run the election. But now you cannot run the election for the places that APC are not standing, or they're not taking up their position. That means you run the whole election back.
I respect you. The other view we are get exception to, they don't ever stop cultural and traditional organizations. And they say if you want for go into traditional business, go and take a license. Titus, I'm a Poro man. I just came from my village. I was dancing Poro We went to the chief. We applied. He gave us a permission.
Yeah, you get go on a village, but not the get Bible, ordinary Bible. Bible not the take place na freedom. Until not the play na freedom.
Every other weekend they come out na yard, they dance. Nobody
But you know they come on a freedom. As an since it's government,
I go invite you na yard like next week go to play.
on a village play. But you know they come on a freedom. Until they come on a freedom.
We take permission. No, like what people them.
Let us say things that they are.
No, they say you for take permission. That is what is the thing. Some man don't take permission. Some man go to street and cost.
They take permission not applying for full power. Who don't take permission for full power? Who don't take permission for IT for
right now? They take permission.
We ask for permission for full devil. Would they ask permission for full on in a salon and tell us the full devil? They wanna go apply Christmas and go make go boy dance. What are you saying? Who don't take permission to IG for full power? No, na power they call na chief they call for. Go and recognize the chief in IG for.
The document they will get our village. We will get from the chief. We go to the police. We can record and
yes, it is the chief. The chief now in charge of the police and the village.
No,
when
we're talking about we're talking about lawlessness. You don't just go to the street and start dancing like
that.
That
is lawlessness. When them cultural dance
no.
Cultural dance don't need permission from the police.
No, you need permission for
this is culture. We need permission from the police for marriage.
Cultural dance can reach to
you need police permission to make marriage party. Very soon, that's what we say. Very soon, police permission.
All right, the further way to watch it on we have on YouTube and on Facebook. Now that's how we go end the show today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Titus Boy. Thank you very much to you, Abdul Hassan Fakir, for joining inside the program today. And I want to tell you thank you, especially this last part. I give you the time for letting I get the conversation going. Now this I've been waiting for forget that from the top of the program.
Some of these things have to be said.
Yes, but I want to say we will get to again another day. We could get to again another day for discuss the issue them way very serious. Because when the two issues them they come, when the issue them they come from the two sides them, it's very interesting. But when you get them from just one angle, it's balance at all. Thank you very much, Mr. Titus, Boy Thompson, and thank you very much, Abdul Hassan Fakir, for joining inside the program. And I want to wish you all a very, very good day. The producer for this program, na Ilya Sabah, me na Sembe the freedom fighter. Until then, I see you again on net. Also, we will get likely Abdullah Begete will join me on the program. Na net, follow we talk about different other issues. Them remember, say Abdullah Begete been there with Anes Baikuma, and I been the talk man for him directly. And now it is na the diaspora. And also they do even thing. But it will come and talk about different issues them this night. So join me this night, 9 p.m. salon time. Follow we discuss the issues them one more time. Get yourself a very good day. And we love you all so much.
That was the guy in live about it. You know what take permission?
Another morning again inside we had. Plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup